Hello, I'm Get the Cans, and I'm exhausted. Summertime's been pretty busy, and I really can't wait for winter, so things finally start to calm down. But over the past couple of weeks, I've been thinking about a lot of things within the about the so-called Church of Scientology. A few things bugging me. Well, one of the things that really seems to bug me about that organization is that there's those that insist on trying to just, follow what they call their beliefs, as ridiculous as they may be, but yet also insist on allowing themselves to be abused and used by the organization itself, where they will, they want to become good people and do good things and all this other stuff, but yet they seem to think that in order to be able to do good things, they need to be able to have their lives dictated to them in almost down to the very smallest detail, where they wake up and go to sleep on Scientology's clock, if Scientology lets them go to sleep at all, or even wake up at all, depending on where you are within that organization. Basically being told what to do every single day, how to do it, who you're to talk to, how you're supposed to talk to them, what exactly you're supposed to say to them, when you're allowed to say anything to them at all, down to the very last detail. And I understand when you first start out, it doesn't actually get like that, but I watched a video about an undercover reporter who went into the organization, and after he started really getting into it, after a while, he was called constantly, just non-stop. You got to come to the org, you got to do this, you got to do this course, blah, 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 blah. They were constantly on him, telling him, this, that, and the other thing, and probably giving him a ton of orders, go here, go there. And I don't really understand the regimentation within the organization to the point where a person is not even allowed to eat their own freaking breakfast without making sure that they check this long list of things that they're, supposed to do or whatever to get the proper Scientology breakfast, which is apparently beans and rice, but I can't confirm that for sure. And another thing, I've been trying to talk to some Scientologists, and I am having one hell of a time at it. I mean, I would say that talking to them is like talking to a brick wall, except that it's not like talking to a brick wall. It's actually worse than talking to a brick wall, because the brick wall will actually listen to the best ability that a brick wall can, whereas a Scientologist basically doesn't listen to you at all, and then pretends that you said something you didn't say, so it can react to that, because then it can have the reaction that it wants to have, or that it's told to have by the so-called organization of the Church of Scientology. It's very frustrating when you're trying to have a conversation, even over messaging, to speak to somebody, and all they have to do is, like my most recent video, the psychiatry video, I went over some details, tried to respond to them in the best way I possibly could, and all the response I got was basically a reiteration of what they had said with the word fact added on to the end of it. Because, adding the word fact onto it makes it a fact. Whatever. Anyways, psychiatry issue aside, it is as difficult as ever to get to somebody. And I'm starting to really understand, even though I may object to it a little bit, as to why Tommy Gorman, the ex-Scientologist who is famous for being rather aggressive verbally, why he does what he does. I don't really see, it's probably one of the best ways to reach somebody. I mean, it may be annoying, it may be frustrating, but, when you say the same things over and over and over and over again in such a way that it can't be ignored, eventually people start thinking, and it's the only real way that some people will ever wake up. So I'm getting so frustrated trying to speak to these people, and there's just logic and reason has nothing to do with any of our discussions at all. I'll try to present something in a logical and rational manner in a way that they may be able to understand, and it's just like they just don't see it. It's like it's invisible. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. It'd be like, me being in a room talking to another person and pointing to a chair, and they'd say, well, there's nothing there. What chair? What are you talking about? I don't see that chair there. And they'd walk around, and they'd hit the chair. They'd kick the chair, but then be like, oh, look, my legs. Oh, it's going through air. It's really frustrating. I'm not used to talking to somebody who basically doesn't even think about what I'm saying. I mean, hell, I wouldn't even mind in a conversation, being wrong if I was proven wrong or told why I was wrong. Not just simply that I was wrong because it was a fact, because that's really difficult to do. Yeah, but But anyways, yeah, the most recent past few weeks, I've been trying to talk to people, trying to figure things out, and I am more confused and exhausted than ever. It is absolutely frustrating to try to figure out people that just don't have anything to figure out, and that's exactly why this so-called Church of Scientology needs to be addressed as far as its abuses on the mental condition of human beings that it is supposed to be taking care of. The fact that it doesn't even care about its own members, the fact that it just doesn't care, period, makes it a dangerous organization that is incompatible with the rest of the world. And that's basically why I speak out against them, and I would hope that anyone out there listening to this minor message would at least consider speaking out somewhat, or at least pointing out to people who may be considering joining the so-called Church of Scientology, pointing out to the truths, maybe giving them some links so they can keep themselves informed to keep themselves safe. But that's all I have really to say this week. It's been a really, really long couple of weeks, and I'm so tired from work. So, yeah. Well, good evening and good night.